a tiny SUV where the seats slide around like furniture. The windows send text messages to strangers, and the speakers pop out so you can take the party with you. Sounds wild, right? Well, that's exactly what Kia is teasing with their brand new baby EV, the Kia EV2. This is their smallest electric SUV, set to launch around 2026. In the next few minutes, we're breaking down everything: design, interior, tech, driving experience, safety, price, the whole package. So buckle up, because this quirky little SUV might just surprise you. Exterior design. Now, let's start with the outside, because this is the first thing that grabs you. The Kia EV2 looks nothing like a typical entry-level SUV. It's rocking Kia's new star map lighting signature up front, those sharp, pixel-style LED clusters that instantly make it feel futuristic. You can't mistake this car for anything else on the road. Dimension-wise, it's smaller than a Kia Soul, yet it carries this chunky, squared-off stance that gives it more of a rugged mini SUV vibe, rather than a tiny city hatchback. And that's smart. People don't want a cheap EV. They want something that looks confident. Around the back, the design stays clean but bold. You've got a full-width light bar, sharp geometric shapes, and even the rear bumper carries this futuristic edge. Honestly, if you covered the badge, you might think this was a concept for a premium European brand. And remember, Kia's designing all of these EVs, from the massive EV9 to this little EV2, to share the same family DNA. That means, even at the bottom of the lineup, you get the same visual identity as the flagship models. Interior features. Step inside the EV2, and it honestly feels like you've just entered a concept lounge, not a budget EV. Kia has gone all in on making this tiny cabin flexible, futuristic, and fun. First thing you'll notice, the sliding bench seats. Yep, the front and rear can actually move around, transforming the cabin depending on how you want to use it. Need more cargo space? Slide them forward. Want to just chill? Push the seats back and it literally turns into a lounge setup. But here's the quirky part, the message windows. You can display little text animations or icons right on the outside of the car. Imagine parking and leaving a glowing note like, "Charging, back soon," or even just a smiley face for the car next to you. It's playful, but it also has some real-world usefulness. Overall, the EV2's interior doesn't just try to fit people into a small car. It reimagines how a small EV can feel roomy, flexible, and even a little bit fun. Infotainment and tech. Now let's talk tech, because the Kia EV2 may be small, but it doesn't skimp on brains. Front and center, you've got dual screens, one for the driver's display and one for infotainment. Kia's been streamlining its UI across all their EVs. So if you've seen the EV6 or EV9, this will look familiar, just scaled down a bit. You'll find the usual suspects here: navigation with EV-specific route planning, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Kia's own connected services. What's cool is how the EV2 integrates EV charging info directly into the maps, so you're not guessing where to plug in. It plans your route around real-time charger availability. And because Kia is moving toward a more digital-first approach, you also get a built-in voice assistant. So instead of fumbling through menus, you can just say something like, "Find me the nearest fast charger," and it pulls it up instantly. Connectivity is another strong point. The EV2's system supports over-the-air updates, meaning your car keeps improving over time without you ever stepping foot in a dealership. Plus, with the Kia Connect app, you can precondition the cabin, check your battery level, or even send a destination from your phone straight to the car. Bottom line, even though this is Kia's most affordable EV, the tech feels anything but cheap. It's polished, smart, and future-proofed. Driving experience. All right, so how does this little guy actually drive? Well, remember, the Kia EV2 isn't built to be a highway rocket. This is a city-focused EV, and it wears that badge proudly. Behind the wheel, the first thing you'll notice is how light and easy the steering feels. Perfect for weaving through tight streets, parking in cramped spots, or just making quick turns downtown. Honestly, it feels more like driving a zippy hatchback than a traditional SUV. Suspension-wise, Kia tuned the EV2 for comfort. Think of it as soaking up potholes and speed bumps without rattling your bones. No, it's not sporty like a hot hatch, but that's not the point here. It's about making everyday commuting as effortless as possible. And of course, being electric means you get that instant torque. Even with modest horsepower, the EV2 takes off the line quicker than most gas city cars. Perfect for those stoplight-to-stoplight sprints. For range, Kia hasn't given us exact numbers yet, but based on similar EVs like Hyundai's Inster, we're probably looking at 180 to 200 miles on a full charge. That's plenty for daily errands and city commutes. Plus, you've got driving modes: Eco for maximum efficiency, Normal for everyday balance, and a bit more pep in sport mode. So the driving experience? It's smooth, easy, and very well suited to city life. Think of it as a stress-free daily companion rather than a performance thrill machine. And honestly, that's exactly what most people want in a car this size: safety and driver assistance. Now, when it comes to safety, Kia hasn't shared all the details yet. After all, the EV2 is still a concept. But if Kia follows the same recipe as the EV4 and EV6, here's what we can expect. Standard driver assistance tech like automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and adaptive cruise control should all be part of the package. Kia's been really consistent about including these across its lineup, even in the more affordable models. Bottom line, when the EV2 hits the road, it should check all the boxes for daily safety. Whether you're solo commuting or hauling kids in the back, it'll have the modern safety tech you'd expect. Price and market position. So, when can you actually get your hands on one of these? Kia says the EV2 will go into production around 2026, starting with Europe and possibly rolling out to other markets later. That makes sense. Small EVs are hugely popular in Europe's cities. As for its competition, think Peugeot E208, Opel Corsa E, or even the MG4. These are all small, affordable EVs designed for city life, and the EV2 is Kia's answer to that crowd. Now, Kia hasn't officially announced the price, but here's the thing. This is designed to be Kia's entry-level EV. That means it should slot in well below the EV4 or EV6. Early estimates suggest somewhere in the mid-$20,000 range before incentives, which could make it one of the most affordable electric SUVs on the market. And don't forget, in many places, you can stack government incentives or EV rebates on top of that, which means the real-world cost could be closer to the low $20,000 range, or even less in some regions. So the way to think about the EV2 is this. It's Kia's way of saying, electric cars don't have to be expensive. It's small, stylish, and budget-friendly. A starter EV for the masses. Conclusion. So that's the Kia EV2. Small on the outside, big on ideas. From its funky sliding seats and picnic-ready flat floor to those quirky message windows and portable speakers, it's clear Kia wanted to make this more than just another budget EV. Sure, the range will probably land around 180 to 200 miles, so it's not built for road trips. But for city living, that's honestly more than enough. And with an expected price tag in the mid-$20,000 range, the EV2 could end up being one of the most affordable electric SUVs you can actually buy. It's practical, eco-friendly, and just playful enough to stand out in a world of serious, grown-up EVs. In other words, it's Kia's way of showing that electric cars can be fun, approachable, and accessible to pretty much anyone. But now the question is, what do you think? Do you like the quirky features, or do you find them a bit too gimmicky? Would you buy a car like this as your first EV? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what features you'd actually use in daily life. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this review of Kia's tiniest electric SUV, hit that like button, subscribe for more car reviews, and stick around. We've got plenty more EV content coming your way. See you in the next one. This is the Cupra Raval, a city EV that looks like it just drove straight out of a futuristic video game. Now here's the wild part. It's not only designed to be affordable, we're talking prices starting around 20-something grand, but it also promises hot hatch performance with over 220 horsepower, and nearly 450 kilometers of range on a single charge. Yeah, you heard that right. A compact EV that's actually fun and practical. And this isn't just hype pulled out of thin air. This car comes from Cupra, the same brand that turned Seat's sensible family cars into fire-breathing hot hatches. They've built their entire identity on performance and style, and the Raval is their boldest move yet. So in this video, we're going to break down what makes the Raval such a game changer. From its sharp design and tech-packed interior, to the real numbers on performance, charging, and price. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll know whether this little electric rebel deserves a spot on your wish list. Brand and model context. To really get why the Raval matters, you've got to know a little about the brand behind it. Cupra isn't your typical car company. It started life as the sporty performance arm of Spanish carmaker SEAT, and over time, it built such a strong identity that it broke off to become its own standalone brand. Think of it as SEAT's rebellious younger sibling, sharper, bolder, and always up for a fight with the big names. Cupra has built its reputation on cars like the Leon Hot Hatch and the Formentor SUV, vehicles that blend everyday usability with genuine performance credentials. And the Raval? Well, it's Cupra's first true city EV. The name itself is a nod to El Raval, one of Barcelona's most vibrant and edgy neighborhoods. That's the vibe they're going for. Youthful, urban, a little unconventional. The Raval actually began life as a wild concept called the Urban Rebel back in 2021. It looked like something straight out of a cyberpunk video game, with oversized spoilers and neon accents. And while the production version has been toned down a bit because, well, reality, it still carries that rebellious DNA. More importantly, it's the very first of Volkswagen Group's brand new electric urban car family, which means it's not just about style. It's about opening the door to affordable, exciting electric mobility for the masses. As Cupra's CEO Wayne Griffiths put it, the Raval is about democratizing urban electric mobility. Translation? Making EVs not just accessible, but cool enough that you actually want one parked outside your apartment. And that's exactly what sets this car apart from the sea of sensible, sometimes boring, compact EVs out there. Exterior design and styling. Now let's talk about the first thing that grabs you, the way this thing looks. Because let's be honest, in the EV world, a lot of small cars tend to blend in. But the Raval? It refuses to disappear into the background. From the front, it's sharp and aggressive. You've got these triangular LED headlights that almost squint at you, like the car's daring you to make eye contact. Right in the middle sits Cupra's signature badge, outlined with those copper accents the brand is famous for. The bumper is carved up with deep angular vents, not just for show, but to help airflow at speed, though they also give the car a stance that says, I'm more than just a city runabout. Slide your eyes to the side and the silhouette really comes alive. At about 4.2 meters long, it's compact, but it doesn't look stubby. The roofline arcs downward into a sleek wedge-like profile, while a sharp crease runs the length of the body, catching light like a sculpted muscle. The wheels are big for a car this size, filling out the arches with intricate Cupra designs that scream motorsport DNA. And if you notice the door handles, they're flush with the body, only popping out when needed, keeping those lines clean and futuristic. Now swing around to the back and you get one of my favorite details, a full-width LED light bar that stretches across the tailgate, connecting flared rear hips that make the Raval look planted and ready to pounce. There's even a subtle spoiler lip that hints at performance without being over the top. Every angle of this car seems to whisper urban hot hatch more than sensible EV. Sure, compared to the concept car, Cupra had to tone it down a bit. The crazy wings and wild frameless windows didn't make the cut. But the attitude? That survived intact. This is still a car that looks like it belongs parked under neon lights in a Barcelona side street, or blasting down a city boulevard at night. It's edgy, it's modern, and it's got a personality most small EVs can only dream of. Interior and cabin layout. Step inside the Raval, and you can tell straight away. This isn't your average budget EV interior. Cupra has a very clear philosophy. Even if the car is compact, the experience shouldn't feel cheap. And they've nailed that balance here. Slide into the driver's seat, and the first thing you notice is how sporty it feels. The seats are snug, with high bolsters that hug you like they're ready for some spirited driving, yet trimmed in recycled fabrics that remind you Cupra hasn't forgotten about sustainability. Copper stitching runs across the upholstery, tying the cabin back to Cupra's signature color scheme. It's a small detail, but it makes the whole place feel premium. In front of you, there's a chunky, flat-bottomed steering wheel with thumb grips and mounted controls that fall perfectly to hand. Behind it, a fully digital instrument cluster that you can customize to show speed, maps, or even charging info. Then your eyes naturally drift to the centerpiece, a massive 12.9-inch touchscreen floating in the middle of the dash. And don't worry, Cupra knows not everyone loves touch-everything controls, so they've given you a slim row of physical buttons just below for climate and quick settings. It's a thoughtful blend of tech and usability. The dashboard itself is clean and driver-focused. The center console has this floating design that frees up space underneath, which not only makes it feel airy, but also gives you extra storage spots. Around the vents and speakers, you'll spot more copper highlights, subtle but consistent, reminding you this is Cupra, not just another VW Group product in disguise. As for space, yes, this is a city hatchback, but it doesn't feel cramped. The packaging is clever. Thanks to the flat EV floor and optional panoramic glass roof, the rear seats feel more usable than you'd expect. Adults can actually sit back there without knees digging into the front seats. And the trunk? Let's just say it's enough for your weekly groceries or a couple of weekend bags, which is really all you need in an urban EV. Overall, the cabin mirrors the exterior. Bold, modern, and just sporty enough to remind you that this isn't an appliance. It's a Cupra. And that driver-first design language carries through everything from the seating position to the copper accents. It feels less like a commuter pod and more like a cockpit built for fun, technology and infotainment. Now let's talk tech, because in today's EV world, the screen is often just as important as the steering wheel. And the Raval doesn't disappoint here. Front and center, you've got a huge 12.9-inch touchscreen, the command center of the car. It runs Cupra's latest infotainment system, and the interface is styled with the brand's signature dark themes and copper highlights. It feels slick, fast, and more polished than what you'll find in some rivals. Naturally, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are built in, and wireless, because no one wants to mess with cables in 2025. Behind the wheel, there's a fully digital instrument cluster, customizable so you can decide what's front and center, whether it's your speed, your navigation, or your charging status. And if that's not futuristic enough, Cupra is adding an augmented reality head-up display. That means instead of glancing down, navigation arrows and speed limits are projected directly onto the road in front of you. Imagine driving through a busy city and having turn-by-turn directions floating right where you need them. That's the kind of tech that makes everyday driving smoother. But it doesn't stop there. The Raval is connected, literally. With Car2X communication, it can talk to traffic lights, warning you of changes ahead, or even communicate with other cars about sudden hazards. And for the urban jungle, you've got helpers like a 360-degree camera system and remote parking assist, meaning yes, you can step out and let the Raval park itself in a tight garage spot. Even the charging side gets the digital treatment. The system shows your range in real time, charging speed, and even recommends nearby charging stations on your route. It's practical tech, designed for real life, not just spec sheets. Put simply, the Raval blends fun, futuristic tech with convenience features you'll actually use every day. It's not just a car with a screen. It's a small EV designed to make city driving smarter, safer, and a lot less stressful. Performance and driving dynamics. All right, now let's get to the part that separates Cupra from the pack, how this little EV actually drives. Because Cupra doesn't just want the Raval to be a city commuter. They want it to feel like a hot hatch for the electric era. Under the skin, the Raval sits on the Volkswagen Group's MEB small platform, the same foundation that'll underpin other compact EVs in the family. But here's the twist. Cupra has tuned it differently. While other brands play it safe, Cupra leans into performance. The base version is expected to push out around 170 horsepower, while the top spec could climb to 226 horsepower. Doesn't sound like supercar numbers, right? But here's the kicker. In a car this small and light, that's plenty to make it feel quick off the line. We're talking 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in roughly 6.9 seconds for the higher output. Not bad at all for a city EV. And because it's an EV, torque delivery is instant. Tap the pedal, and you're already weaving through traffic before the guy in the lane next to you even reacts. This isn't just about straight-line speed either. Cupra has stiffened the suspension, lowered the ride height compared to its VW cousins, and sharpened up the steering response. That means tighter handling in the corners, less body roll, and a driving feel that's more hot hatch than EcoPod. Cupra is also expected to offer selectable drive modes, from Eco for conserving juice to Cupra mode, which sharpens throttle response and gives you the maximum punch. Combine that with regenerative braking you can adjust on the fly, and the Revolve doesn't just move you from A to B, it lets you play with the experience along the way. And let's not forget, this is a city car first. Its compact dimensions, short wheelbase, and tight turning circle mean parking, U-turns, and darting through urban streets feel effortless. Yet when you hit the highway, it's stable and planted, thanks to that low center of gravity from the battery pack tucked under the floor. So no, this isn't a Tesla plaid killer, but that's not the point. The Revolve is about delivering fun, everyday performance in a package you can actually use daily. It's cheeky, it's nimble, and it's got that spark of Cupra DNA that makes even the school run feel a little more exciting. Range and charging. Okay, so it's quick, it's fun, but how far can it actually go before you're hunting for a charger? That's the question on everyone's mind with an EV, right? And Cupra knows this. So, the Revolve has been designed with city life and weekend getaways in mind. Underneath, you'll get a choice of battery packs. The smaller one, around 38 kilowatt hours, is aimed squarely at urban drivers. Perfect if your daily routine is commuting, grocery runs, and maybe the occasional late-night cruise. That version should give you around 250 to 300 kilometers of real-world range. But if you want to stretch things further, Cupra will also offer a bigger pack, around 55 kilowatt hours, pushing the Revolve to about 400 kilometers WLTP. And realistically, that's more than enough for 90% of drivers, especially when most charging happens at home overnight. Now here's where things get interesting. Charging speeds. On a regular AC wall box, you're looking at a full charge overnight. Nothing surprising there. But plug it into a fast DC charger, and the Revolve supports up to 120 kilowatts. Translation? You can go from 10 to 80% in just under 30 minutes. That's basically a coffee stop while you're on the highway, not an all-day wait. Cupra also makes charging smarter. The infotainment system isn't just about music and maps. It actively suggests nearby charging stations along your route, complete with availability and pricing. Combine that with preconditioning, which warms or cools the battery before you charge. And you're not just saving time, you're protecting battery health too. And because this is Cupra, they've even thought about the lifestyle side of things. The Revolve supports vehicle-to-load functionality, meaning you can plug in a laptop, a camping light, or even charge an e-bike directly from the car. It's not just mobility, it's a power source on wheels. So whether you're zipping around the city or heading out for a weekend escape, the Revolve promises range that feels practical, charging that feels painless, and enough flexibility to make EV life way less intimidating than it used to be. Sustainability and materials. Now here's something that sets the Revolve apart from just being another small EV, the way it's built. Because Cupra isn't just selling speed and style here, they're selling responsibility. And in 2025, that matters just as much as horsepower or range. Step back inside the cabin, and you'll notice a theme. Recycled, eco-friendly materials everywhere. The seats? They're trimmed in textiles made from recycled plastics and fibers, some of which are literally fished out of the Mediterranean. The door panels, dash inserts, even the floor mats, they all use sustainable fabrics without feeling cheap or bland. It's Cupra's way of saying, yeah, we're sporty, but we're not careless. And here's where it gets clever.
They didn't sacrifice style to go green. Instead, they turned sustainability into a design flex. The contrast copper stitching, the layered dashboard textures, the Alcantara-like finishes, it all feels premium. If no one told you it was recycled, you wouldn't know. That's how far material science has come in car design. Even the manufacturing side is greener. The Raval is produced at Cupra's Martorell plant in Spain, which has been moving towards carbon-neutral operations, using renewable energy and cutting down waste.
So it's not just about what's in the car, but also how the car itself comes into the world. For buyers, this isn't just a checkbox. Studies show that over 70% of younger EV shoppers now look at sustainability as a deciding factor. So Cupra is basically giving you performance, looks, and eco-credibility in one package. That's not a compromise. That's a selling point. Bottom line, the Raval doesn't just talk the green talk. It builds it into the very fabric of the car. Literally. And that's going to matter a lot for the kind of people this EV is designed for. Competition and market positioning. All right, so we know what the Raval brings to the table. But how does it stack up when you put it against the competition? Because let's be honest, the compact EV game is heating up fast, and buyers have options. First up, the Volkswagen ID.2all. Same group, same platform, but a very different vibe. The VW is clean, friendly, safe, but some might say a little too polite. The Raval takes that same DNA and injects attitude into it. Sharper looks, sportier handling, and an identity that's less family hatchback and more urban rebel. Then there's the Renault 5 EV, the retro-styled icon making a comeback. It's cool, no doubt, but it leans heavily on nostalgia. The Raval, in contrast, is futuristic. It's not looking backwards. It's carving its own identity forward. And of course, you can't ignore the Peugeot E208 or even the Mini Electric. Both are stylish city EVs with plenty of charm. But here's where Cupra makes its play: performance and personality. While others are content being cute or sensible, the Raval positions itself as the edgy, youthful, hot hatch alternative. The one that doesn't just fit your life, it amplifies it. Price-wise, Cupra knows it has to stay competitive. This isn't a luxury EV. It's aimed squarely at younger buyers, city drivers, and anyone who wants something more exciting than a gray box with a plug. So when you look at the lineup, the Raval stands out as the emotional choice in a segment full of rational ones. And in car buying, emotion usually wins. So yeah, while the others play it safe, the Raval takes risks. And that's exactly what makes it stand out in this crowd. Pricing and value. All right, let's talk money. Because at the end of the day, no matter how cool or futuristic a car looks, it has to make sense in the wallet. So where does the Cupra Raval land? Cupra hasn't dropped the final sticker yet, but industry whispers point to a starting price of around 25,000 to 28,000 euros for the entry version. That's right in line with its VW cousin, the ID.2all, and comfortably below the Renault 5 EV and Peugeot E208. Now, considering what you're getting, the Cupra badge, sharper styling, sportier tuning, that's already a strong value proposition. Step up to the bigger battery and higher output versions, and you're probably looking closer to 30,000 to 35,000 euros. Still, when you think about the tech, the performance, and the design flair, that's a sweet spot. It puts the Raval within reach of younger buyers and first-time EV owners who want excitement without going broke. And here's the kicker: government incentives. In many European markets, the Raval will qualify for EV grants and tax benefits, which can easily shave a few thousand off the purchase price. That suddenly makes this car not just stylish and sporty, but also one of the most affordable ways to get into the EV game without feeling like you're settling for something boring. So in terms of value, the Raval isn't trying to be the cheapest. It's trying to be the smartest buy in its class. A car that balances affordability with personality. And that's something you don't usually get at this price point. Conclusion. So here's the takeaway. The Cupra Raval isn't just another small EV. It's proof that affordable electric cars don't have to be boring. You're getting sharp looks, a driver-focused cabin, real tech that actually makes your life easier, and performance that puts a grin on your face every time you touch the accelerator. It's not perfect. The rear space is decent, but not cavernous. And if you're chasing Tesla-style range, this isn't that car. But that's not what the Raval is trying to be. This is a city hatch with attitude, designed to turn the daily grind into something you actually look forward to. Against rivals like the Renault 5, Peugeot E208, and even VW's own ID.2 All, the Raval carves out its lane as the bold, edgy choice. The one you buy not just because it makes sense, but because it makes you feel something. And at a price that keeps it accessible. With Cupra's design flair and performance DNA baked in, the Raval isn't just Cupra's entry-level EV. It's their statement piece. A declaration that the future of affordable EVs can be fun, stylish, and just a little bit rebellious. So the real question is, do you want your first EV to blend in or to stand out? Because the Cupra Raval is definitely here to stand out. Picture this. The car that defined the streets of 1970s Europe has just been reborn. And it's electric. Yeah, you heard that right. The Renault 5, the little hatch that sold over 5.5 million units back in the day, is making a comeback in 2025. And get this, it's already snagged European Car of the Year before most people have even seen one in person. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this just another retro gimmick? Or has Renault actually managed to blend nostalgia with real, modern-day EV tech? That's exactly what we're diving into today. We're talking design details you'll recognize instantly, clever touches you've never seen before, real-world driving impressions, range and charging that might surprise you, and of course, whether this little legend is actually worth your money in 2025. So, buckle up, because what you're about to see isn't just a car review. It's a reunion with an icon, reinvented for the future. Let's dive in history and background. Let's rewind for a second. The original Renault 5 launched in 1972, and it was a massive hit. Over 5.5 million units sold worldwide. For a whole decade, it was France's best-selling car. People loved it for being affordable, practical, and a little bit cheeky in its design. And then there were the wild versions, like the Renault 5 Turbo, a rally-bred hot hatch that had flared arches, a mid-mounted engine, and became a cult hero. So yeah, the 5 wasn't just a city runabout, it had real attitude. Fast forward to today, and Renault has tapped into that heritage. They're leaning into the retro trend. Think Fiat 500, Mini Cooper. But instead of petrol nostalgia, they're reimagining it for the EV era. The result? This. The all-new Renault 5 Electric. A modern, zero-emissions city car that keeps the playful spirit of the original alive. Exterior design and styling. Let's start with the outside. Straight away, you can see the nods to the past. The headlights have this squared-off trapezoid shape, a clear callback to the original's cheeky little face. There's even a kind of grin built into the grille and bumper. From the side, the silhouette is instantly familiar. That boxy, folded paper simplicity is back. But Renault's widened the stance. Those 18-inch wheels look big for a car this size, and they give it some proper presence. The flared arches even echo the old Renault 5 Turbo. Round the back, you've got vertical taillights climbing up the C-pillar, just like the classic. And here's my favorite modern twist, that big number 5 on the hood. On higher trims, it actually lights up as a battery charge indicator, so as you charge, the 5 glows. Such a clever EV touch. And then the colors. Renault didn't play it safe. We're talking bright yellow, electric green, even playful two-tone finishes. This isn't trying to blend into traffic. It wants to stand out, just like the old 5 always did. Interior, comfort, and cabin tech. Hop inside, and the retro vibes continue. The seats are upholstered in this denim-like fabric, giving the cabin a fun, casual feel. You can also spec more premium trims with Alcantara or leatherette. But honestly, the denim is very on-brand for a quirky city car. The dash is clean and minimal, dominated by a 10.1-inch central touchscreen, tilted toward the driver. And on higher trims, you also get a second 10-inch digital driver's display. Side by side, it looks modern and slick. Space-wise, Renault's done a good job. The front seats drop nice and low, so even taller drivers feel comfortable. I'm 6 foot, and I've got decent headroom and shoulder space. In the back, it's tighter. Fine for 2 adults or 3 kids across the bench. If you're tall, your knees and hair might brush against the seat and roofline, but for a city hatchback, that's expected. And then there are the quirky details. A little shelf across the dash that Renault jokingly calls the baguette basket, and fun ambient lighting themes that match the car's exterior colors. It feels playful, but well thought out. Performance and driving dynamics. All right, let's talk about how it drives. The Renault 5 is front-wheel drive and comes with 2 motor options, 120 horsepower on the base model or 147 horsepower on the bigger battery version. The quicker one does 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds, which is plenty zippy for a small hatch. In the city, it feels lively. You get that instant EV torque. Press the pedal and it just goes. Steering is light but direct, perfect for darting through traffic or squeezing into parking spots. The suspension is where Renault has surprised me. It's got an independent multi-link setup at the back, something you usually find on more expensive cars. That means when you push it into corners, it stays flatter and feels more composed than rivals like the Fiat 500e. It's not trying to be a sports car, but there's definitely a playful edge here. Around town, it's agile and fun. On the motorway, it cruises quietly up to 70 miles per hour without feeling strained. The only downside? On rougher city roads, you do feel some firmness, but that's the trade-off for having a car that feels this connected and stable. Range, battery, and charging. Now for the numbers everyone asks about. Range and charging. You've got 2 battery options. The smaller 40 kilowatt-hour pack gives you around 192 miles WLTP, closer to 150 in the real world. The bigger 52 kilowatt-hour battery stretches that to about 255 miles WLTP, which in reality means around 200 miles on mixed driving. Cold weather does hit it like any EV. Expect closer to 150 real miles in winter. But for city life, that's still several days of driving between charges. Charging is straightforward. 11 kilowatts AC onboard for home charging, so a full top-up overnight. On a fast charger, the big battery goes 10 to 80% in about 35 minutes at up to 100 kilowatts. Pretty handy. And here's a cool trick. The Renault 5 supports bi-directional charging. That means you could plug in appliances, power a campsite, or even feed electricity back into your house. It's not just a car. It's basically a rolling battery. Technology and safety features. Inside, the tech is properly modern. Renault's running their Open R-Link system, which is based on Google's Android Automotive. Translation, you've got built-in Google Maps, Google Assistant, and the Play Store right on the dashboard. There's also Renault's own voice assistant called Reno, so you can literally say, "Hey Reno," and ask it to adjust the AC or play music. Pretty slick. Of course, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are supported too. On safety, it's fully loaded. Adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, automatic emergency braking, and all the sensors you'd want for parking. Basically, all the big car features in a fun-sized package. Practicality and day-to-day use. So, can you live with it every day? I'd say yes. The boot is a healthy 326 liters, which is bigger than you'd expect for a car this size. Groceries, a couple of suitcases, even a folded bike, no problem. There's underfloor storage for the charging cables too. Rear seat space is decent for a city hatch, though tall adults won't love long journeys back there. But it's one of the few in its class that actually seats 5 people, even if the middle rear is tight. And here's a fun fact. It can even tow up to 500 kilograms. That's unusual for a little EV like this. So yes, technically, you could drag a small trailer or stick a bike rack on it. Pricing, trims, and value. All right, let's talk money. In the UK, the Renault 5 starts at about £21,500 for the base 40 kilowatt-hour model. Step up to the bigger battery and nicer trims, and you're looking closer to £27,000 to £29,000. For context, that undercuts rivals like the Mini Electric or Fiat 500e, while offering more range and arguably more charm. In Europe, pricing is equally competitive. Sadly, US buyers, Renault isn't officially bringing this car stateside. But if they did,
Car and Driver estimates it would land between $24,700 and $29,000. Factor in lower running costs, cheap charging, minimal maintenance, and it starts to look like one of the best value small EVs on the market right now. Conclusion and verdict. So, verdict time. The Renault 5 Reborn is everything you'd want from a retro comeback. It's stylish, full of personality, fun to drive, and surprisingly practical. The tech is bang up to date, the range is solid for daily life, and the price is genuinely affordable compared to rivals.
Sure, it's not a family hauler, and it won't win drag races, but that was never the point. This is about character, and Renault has nailed it. If you're after a city-friendly EV that turns heads and puts a smile on your face every time you drive it, the Renault 5 is a winner. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new Renault 5. Would you pick this over a Mini Electric or a Fiat 500e? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. What's the world's best-selling electric SUV? Yeah, you guessed it, the Tesla Model Y. But here's the kicker. The 2026 version isn't just a minor facelift, it's a whole new vibe. We're talking sleeker design, a cabin that finally feels premium, and performance that'll make you double-check if you're really in an SUV. Now, I know, people throw around game changer all the time, but this one actually has the numbers to back it up. Think 357 miles of range, insane charging speeds, and acceleration that embarrasses a lot of sports cars. And the best part? That's just scratching the surface. Because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what Tesla changed, what stayed the same, and whether this 2026 Model Y is really worth your money. Welcome to the Auto Expert. Let's dive in. Exterior design. First off, let's talk about the exterior, because this is where you'll spot the biggest changes right away. The 2026 Model Y doesn't just look like last year's car with a new badge. Tesla actually gave it a sharper, more futuristic vibe. Up front, the first thing you'll notice is that new LED light bar running across the nose, linking the headlights together. It's one clean strip that makes the whole front look wider and more modern. Honestly, it gives off a bit of that sci-fi spaceship look. Tesla also redesigned the bumpers and smoothed out some of the edges. It's subtle. They didn't go crazy, but it makes the car look more polished and aerodynamic. And those headlights? Slimmer now, with a cleaner daytime running light signature. At night, these things really pop. So yeah, it's still recognizably a Model Y, but with these tweaks, it looks leaner, more premium, and finally has the visual punch to match its performance. That's interior and comfort. Now, stepping inside, the changes are even more noticeable. The Model Y's cabin finally feels premium. This is something a lot of people complained about before, and Tesla clearly listened. The dashboard and door panels are wrapped in higher quality materials that actually feel soft to the touch, and the build quality feels more solid than before. On top of that, Tesla added extra sound insulation, so highway noise is way less intrusive. Ambient lighting is another cool addition. You can customize strips along the dash and doors, changing colors to match your vibe. It's subtle but adds a nice modern touch. The front seats are all new as well. Better bolstering for sport, and now ventilated, which is huge for hot climates. Hop in and you immediately feel the upgrade in comfort. Overall, the cabin feels quieter, comfier, and more upscale than ever before. It's not luxury car plush, but it definitely closes the gap. Infotainment and technology. Of course, no Tesla is complete without its tech, and the Model Y 2026 is no exception. Right in the middle, you've got that giant touchscreen, 15.4 inches on most trims, bumped up to 16 inches on the performance model. This is basically mission control for the entire car. From here, you handle everything: navigation, climate, media, even your mirrors and glove box. Some people love the minimalism, others miss physical buttons. But once you get used to it, it's intuitive. Entertainment-wise, Tesla packed in apps like Netflix, YouTube, Spotify, and even games. Perfect for killing time while charging. Rear passengers also get their own 8-inch display on the back of the center console, so they can stream, play games, or control climate independently. On the driver assist side, autopilot comes standard. That means adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, and auto steer on highways. It makes long drives way easier. And yes, Tesla still sells the optional full self-driving package. That adds features like automatic lane changes and city navigation, but just remember, it still requires your attention. It's not fully autonomous, no matter what the name suggests. So overall, you're getting one of the most advanced infotainment systems in any car. Plus, the industry's most well-known semi-autonomous driving features. Performance and handling. All right, now let's talk about the fun part. How this thing drives. The base RWD version makes about 295 horsepower, which is plenty quick for daily driving. Step up to the AWD long range, and you're looking at around 375 horsepower. And if that's not enough, the new performance trim cranks out a whopping 460 horsepower. In numbers, here's what that means. The RWD does 0-60 in about 5.4 seconds. The AWD drops it to 3.9 seconds. And the performance model, just 3.3 seconds. That's sports car territory in a family SUV. On the road, acceleration feels instant. That classic EV shove that pins you back in your seat. The steering is light but precise, perfect for city streets and highways. The suspension is on the firmer side, which makes it more agile around corners. But you'll feel bumps more than in, say, a cushy luxury SUV. It's quick, it's responsive, and with the added sound insulation, it's also quieter than older versions. Overall, it feels sporty, but still usable as an everyday family car. Range and charging. Now, if there's one thing people care about in an EV, it's range. And the 2026 Model Y is one of the best in the game. The RWD version can go up to 357 miles on a charge with 19-inch wheels. If you go with 20s, that drops slightly to around 344 miles. The AWD model does about 327 miles on 19s and 303 on 20s. Even the performance trim still clears the 300-mile mark. Charging is equally impressive. Plug into a Tesla V3 supercharger, and you can add about 180 miles of range in just 15 minutes. That's basically a coffee break. Of course, most owners will charge at home overnight, waking up to a full battery every morning. And don't forget, Tesla's supercharger network is still the largest and most reliable fast charging system in the world. So long trips, no problem. Pricing and trim levels. Now let's talk money. The 2026 Model Y starts around $46,600 for the rear-wheel drive version. The AWD long range bumps it into the low to mid 50Ks, and the performance trim comes in at about $57,500. Every trim comes well equipped. Things like the big screen, glass roof, heated seats, autopilot, all standard. As you move up, you're mainly paying for more power, range, and some sporty extras. In my opinion, the sweet spot is the AWD long range. You get the dual motors for all-weather traction, more horsepower, and excellent range, without stretching into performance pricing. Conclusion. So, what's the bottom line? The 2026 Tesla Model Y takes what was already the world's best-selling EV and makes it better. You get class-leading range, blistering acceleration, a quieter and more premium cabin, and Tesla's unmatched charging network. On the downside, the ride is still a bit firm, and some people won't love the fact that basically every control lives on the touchscreen. And at the higher trims, it's not exactly cheap. But if you want an EV that's practical, high-tech, and still fun to drive, the Model Y continues to be one of the strongest options out there. Toyota just went and did something huge with the RAV4. For the very first time, there's no gas-only version. None. This SUV, the one that's been the best-selling in America for years, is now all hybrid and plug-in hybrid. That's right. The everyday RAV4 has gone fully electrified. And it's not just the powertrain that's changed. The whole thing has been redesigned from the ground up. We're talking sharper looks, way more tech inside, and trims that range from rugged off-roaders to sporty features that pack over 300 horsepower. So today on the Auto Xpert, we're breaking down exactly what makes the 6th generation RAV4 so different, so bold, and whether Toyota just set a new standard for compact SUVs. Stick around, because there's a lot here that'll make you rethink what a RAV4 actually is. Exterior and styling. First impressions matter, and the new RAV4 definitely wants to be noticed. Right away, you'll see Toyota's new hammerhead front design. Slim LED headlights stretching out wide with a bold bar across the nose. It gives the RAV4 a sharper, more futuristic face compared to the last generation. Walk around the side and you'll notice chiseled body lines, a stronger stance, and a new set of wheels that range all the way up to 20 inches on the sportier trims. What's cool is that Toyota has given the RAV4 3 distinct personalities. There's the core look, which is more refined and city-friendly, with body-colored trim and sleek finishes. Then you've got the Woodland Edition, which instantly feels more rugged. Higher ground clearance, black cladding, chunky all-terrain tires, and even orange accents inside and out. And if you want something aggressive, the GR Sport is the one. Big spoilers, blue trim highlights, and it just looks ready to pounce. And around the back, a brand new full-width LED taillight that makes the rear pop at night. It's definitely a step forward in design. Interior and comfort. Step inside and the vibe has completely leveled up. The cabin feels cleaner and more modern, but still practical. The first thing you'll notice is the big digital gauge cluster. It's standard now, and on higher trims you get the massive 12.3-inch version. Right next to it is a crisp central touchscreen, starting at 10.5 inches and going up to a nearly 13-inch panel, which finally gives the RAV4 that premium tech look. Toyota also reworked the center console. Instead of a bulky shifter, some trims get a sleek little electronic toggle, which frees up space for storage. And yes, there's still that open shelf across the dash that people loved from the previous gen. As for seating, most models come with Softex, Toyota's leather-like upholstery. But if you grab the Woodland, you'll get rugged rubber mats and bright orange stitching that screams weekend adventure. There's also an available panoramic glass roof, which really opens the cabin and makes it feel airy. And for families, cargo space is just as versatile as ever. Flat folding seats, wide hatch opening, and plenty of room for gear. Technology and infotainment. Tech is where the new RAV4 really steps into 2025. Toyota has moved it onto their new Arene platform, which is basically a smarter brain behind the infotainment system. You've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto across the board, dual Bluetooth pairing so you and your passenger can both stay connected, and even a more natural voice assistant. Just say, "Hey Toyota," and you can control navigation, climate, or your music. Higher trims also offer extras, like a JBL premium sound system, a head-up display, and even a digital rear-view mirror that lets you see a camera feed instead of a traditional mirror if your view is blocked. The cluster itself can show navigation maps and media alongside your speed, making it feel almost futuristic. And the best part? The software now supports over-the-air updates, which means Toyota can add new features down the line without you having to visit a dealer. Performance and powertrains. Now here's the biggest change. The 2026 RAV4 is all electrified. That means no more pure gas versions. The base model is now a hybrid with a 2.5-liter engine plus electric motors, giving you about 226 horsepower in front-wheel drive, or 236 if you go all-wheel drive. It's peppy enough for daily driving, and the fuel economy should easily beat the old gas models, especially in the city. But if you really want power, the plug-in hybrid, or what used to be called the RAV4 Prime, is back and stronger than ever. It now pushes out 320 horsepower combined, making it one of the quickest compact SUVs out there. 0-60 mph in the mid-5-second range is no joke. On top of that, it can do around 50 miles purely on electric power, which covers most commutes without burning a drop of gas. And yes, fast charging is supported on some trims, meaning a 10% to 80% charge in about 30 minutes. Toyota also doubled down on capability. Most all-wheel drive versions can now tow up to 3,500 pounds, which is great for small trailers or boats. So whether you want efficiency, speed, or weekend adventure muscle, there's a RAV4 setup for you. Now to safety and driver assistance. Of course, Toyota built its reputation on safety, and the new RAV4 is the very first to get Toyota Safety Sense 4.0. That's a fancy way of saying all the driver aids you'd expect are here, but smarter. You've got adaptive cruise control that can handle stop-and-go traffic, lane keep assist that's smoother than before, and automatic emergency braking that now spots pedestrians and cyclists more reliably. The new sensors and cameras mean faster reactions and more accurate detection. You also get blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alerts, and the usual airbag suite. Toyota even throws in 2 years of free maintenance and roadside assistance, which is a nice touch for peace of mind. Pricing and availability. So when can you actually get one? Toyota says the new RAV4 hits dealerships in late 2025 as a 2026 model. Prices haven't been finalized yet, but here's what analysts are predicting. The base hybrid LE should land somewhere in the mid-$30,000, while a fully loaded plug-in GR Sport could climb to around $50,000 or more. That means there's a wide spread of options depending on your budget, from daily commuter trims all the way up to luxury-leaning family haulers. Conclusion. Narration. So here's the bottom line. The 6th generation RAV4 isn't just a refresh, it's a full-on reset. Toyota took their bestseller, gave it sharper looks, packed it with smarter tech, and made the bold move to go all hybrid and plug-in. That means better fuel savings for the daily grind, way more power if you want it, and still the practicality that made the RAV4 the go-to family SUV in the first place. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive and want more honest car reviews delivered straight, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to The Auto Xpert. Trust me, we've got plenty more cars to break down together. Okay, tell me this. When was the last time you saw a family SUV that looked like it rolled straight out of a sci-fi movie? Because Hyundai just dropped the Ioniq 9. And honestly, it doesn't look like an SUV anymore. It looks like the future on wheels. And here's the crazy part. This thing isn't some wild concept car. It's real, it's hitting the roads, and it's promising over 300 miles of range with charging speeds that leave most EVs eating dust. I know what you're thinking. Is this just hype? Or is the Ioniq 9 actually worth the buzz? Well, that's exactly what we're about to find out. From its spaceship-like design to the kind of tech you'd expect in a luxury lounge, we're breaking it all down right here on the Auto Xpert. Buckle up, because this might just be the EV everyone's been waiting for. Exterior design. First impressions matter, and the Ioniq 9 makes one instantly. From the front, you're hit with Hyundai's signature parametric pixel lights. Tiny futuristic squares that glow like something straight out of Tron. It's bold, it's different, and you're not confusing this SUV with anything else on the road. The profile's all about clean lines, minimal creases, flush door handles, and a high, confident stance. It's big, boxy in the right way, and definitely feels like Hyundai's taking cues from high-end luxury SUVs. Out back, the Pixel theme continues with a full-width LED bar, giving it this ultra-modern vibe at night. The wheels? Massive, ranging from 20 to 22 inches depending on the trim, and styled to look aerodynamic but futuristic. Overall, it doesn't just look like a car. It looks like Hyundai wanted to make a statement, and trust me, it works. Now interior and comfort. Alright, now let's climb inside. because this is where the Ioniq 9 really feels like it's playing in the big leagues. The first thing you notice? Space. This is a full-size SUV, and Hyundai hasn't wasted a single inch. Slide into the driver's seat, and you're greeted by this massive curved glass panel with two 12.3-inch screens. It's futuristic, but still user-friendly. Thankfully, Hyundai left some physical knobs for climate and audio. The dashboard has this wide, lounge-like vibe. The center console, Hyundai calls it the Universal Island 2.0, actually slides back and forth to open up space or add storage. Clever and practical. Materials feel premium. Soft touch surfaces, stitching, customizable ambient lighting. Higher trims bring heated and ventilated seats, not just in the front, but also in the second row. It feels like Hyundai deliberately aimed this at families who wanted comfort and style. Seating, space and cargo. Now let's get real. This is a 3-row SUV, so seating matters. Up front, the seats are wide and super adjustable, with heating, cooling, and memory functions on higher trims. In the second row, you've got options. Either a bench for more passengers or captain's chairs for that first-class vibe. And yep, they recline, slide, and even offer ventilation. The third row isn't limo level, but it's more usable than most rivals. Adults can manage shorter trips, kids will be fine, and they've got USB ports and cup holders, so they're not forgotten back there. Cargo space? With all 3 rows up, you've got room for groceries or a couple carry-ons. Fold the third row down, and it opens up big time for road trips or Costco runs. Fold both second and third rows, and it's basically a small moving van. Plus, don't forget the front, perfect for cables or small bags. Performance and driving experience. All right, so how does it drive? Because nobody wants a futuristic SUV that feels like a bus. The Ioniq 9 rides on Hyundai's eGMP EV platform, same as the Ioniq 5.6 and Kia EV9. In rear-wheel drive form, you're getting around 300 horsepower. Go for the all-wheel drive dual motor setup, and you're pushing close to 380 horsepower. That AWD model does 0 to 60 in about 5.5 seconds. Not bad for a 3-row family hauler. Handling? Surprisingly composed. Thanks to the low-slung battery, the center of gravity is low, so it corners flatter than you'd expect. Ride comfort is smooth, tuned for families, and cabin noise is minimal. This thing is whisper quiet on the highway. Add in one-pedal driving, adjustable region braking, and drive modes that switch the personality from chill cruiser to quick sprinter. And you've got an SUV that feels easy, stable, and confident, no matter who's behind the wheel. Battery, range, and charging. Now, range and charging. Probably the #1 question for anyone considering an EV. The Ioniq 9 packs a 100 kWh battery. Range? Around 300 miles for AWD and up to 340 miles in RWD. That's plenty for road trips and daily driving. The real flex is charging speed. Thanks to 800-volt tech, it can jump from 10% to 80% in just about 20 minutes on a 350 kWh fast charger. That's coffee break fast. At home on a level 2 wall charger, a full recharge takes about 10-11 hours. Plug it in overnight, wake up to a full tank. And Hyundai adds vehicle to load, V2L, meaning the SUV can power your electronics, camping gear, tools, even a mini fridge. It's basically a mobile power station. Technology and infotainment. Now let's geek out a little. The Ioniq 9 runs a dual screen setup, 2 12.3-inch displays under a single curved glass panel. The cluster is clear and customizable, and the infotainment is smooth, not clunky. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto? Yes. Wireless on base trims, wired on higher ones. Over-the-air updates keep everything fresh. Voice assistant is more natural. Say, "I'm cold," and it adjusts the temp. For audio lovers, the Bose premium system hits hard. Pair it with ambient lighting and you've got rolling vibes on wheels. Family perks? Driver talk, which lets your voice project through the rear speakers. Perfect for telling the kids to stop bickering without shouting. throw in wireless charging pads, plenty of USB-C ports, and a heads-up display. And you've got a tech suite that feels genuinely helpful, not just flashy. Safety features and driver assistance. Safety is huge for any family SUV, and Hyundai doesn't hold back. Standard across trims is the SmartSense Safety Suite. Forward collision avoidance, lane keeping, lane centering, and adaptive cruise. It can even detect pedestrians and cyclists and hit the brakes if needed. Highway Driving Assist 2 is available. Basically, semi-automated driving for highways with lane change assist. Blind spot cameras pop up live feeds in your cluster. Surround view cameras make parking a big SUV easy. And Safe Exit Assist keeps kids from opening doors into traffic. Plus, Hyundai reinforced the battery and structure with extra crash protection. It's all about peace of mind, and the Ioniq 9 delivers it. Pricing and value. So, how much are we talking? Base trims start around $59,000. Mid-level trims with AWD and nicer materials? Around $66,000. Top trims like Limited or Calligraphy push into the low to mid $70,000 with all the premium touches. Yes, that's creeping into luxury territory, but here's the kicker. You're getting luxury level range, charging speed, safety tech, and space, often for less than rivals, like Tesla's Model X or Rivian's R1S. Factor in lower running costs, possible EV incentives, and Hyundai's excellent warranty. And the Ioniq 9 starts looking like one of the smarter buys in the segment. Conclusion. So, final thoughts. The Hyundai Ioniq 9 isn't just Hyundai's biggest EV. It might be one of the most well-rounded electric SUVs out there right now. You've got bold design, a premium and spacious interior, family-friendly practicality, strong performance, fast charging, and class-leading tech and safety, all in one package. Sure, the top trims get pricey, and the third row isn't perfect. But honestly, those are small trade-offs in a segment where compromise is the norm. So if you're looking for a futuristic, family-friendly EV that balances practicality with wow factor, the Hyundai Ioniq 9 deserves to be on your shortlist. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe, drop a comment with your thoughts, and stay tuned. Because here on the Auto Xpert, we've got plenty more car reviews coming your way.
The Jeep just did something none of us thought they'd actually pull off. They built a fully electric Wagoneer. Yeah, that's right. The off-road legend has gone EV. But here's the kicker. This thing isn't some slow, eco-friendly cruiser. It's packing 600 horsepower and can launch from 0 to 60 in just 3.4 seconds. That's sports car speed in a Jeep SUV. Now, I know what you're thinking. Does it still feel like a Jeep? Can it handle family duties, tech, and range without losing that classic DNA? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out. Because this Wagoneer S isn't just another EV. It might be Jeep's boldest move yet. Stick around. This is going to be interesting. Background and context. The Wagoneer name goes way back. Jeep first introduced it in the 1960s as one of America's earliest luxury SUVs. Fast forward to 2025, and that heritage gets a modern twist. The Wagoneer S, Jeep's first ever battery electric vehicle. It slots just below the Grand Wagoneer in size, closer to a Grand Cherokee footprint. But unlike anything else in Jeep's lineup, it's fully electric from the ground up. Jeep built it on the new STLA Large platform, which will also underpin other Stellantis EVs. Exterior design. From the outside, the Wagoneer S blends classic Jeep styling cues with sleek EV aerodynamics. Up front, you'll notice the iconic 7-slot grille. But here it's reimagined as a blacked-out, illuminated panel, a futuristic nod to Jeep heritage. Flanking it are sharp LED matrix headlights with a distinctive wraparound signature. The body is far smoother than a traditional Jeep. Flowing hood lines, flush door handles, and a nearly flat roofline all improve aerodynamics.
Jeep even boasts a drag coefficient of about 0.29, remarkably low for an SUV. Move around back, and you'll see a full-width LED light bar, squared-off tailgate, and subtle Wagoneer badging. The Launch Edition adds unique 20-inch wheels and premium paint options, like diamond black and silver zenith. Overall, it looks modern, upscale, and performance-oriented, while still reminding you it's a Jeep. Interior and comfort. Step inside, and the Wagoneer S feels more like a luxury lounge on wheels than a rugged SUV. It's a 5-seater configuration, with generous legroom in both rows, almost identical to the Grand Cherokee. The seats are wrapped in premium leatherette, with the Launch Edition offering 16-way, power-adjustable, massaging front seats. Both rows get heated and ventilated seating, making comfort a given. Look up, and a panoramic glass roof floods the cabin with natural light. Look around, and you'll notice 64-color ambient lighting strips, soft-touch surfaces, and even electronic push-button door handles that add a futuristic feel. Cargo space is practical, about 30 cubic feet behind the second row, expandable to 61 cubic feet with seats folded. Plus, a small 3 cubic foot frunk up front, perfect for charging cables or small bags. This interior sets a new tone for Jeep, upscale, high-tech, and seriously comfortable. Performance. Now, let's talk about the fun part, performance. The Wagoneer S comes with dual electric motors, one in the front, one in the rear, giving it standard all-wheel drive. In the Launch Edition, those motors combine to produce a staggering 600 horsepower and 617 pound-feet of torque. That's muscle you usually see in sports cars, not family SUVs. The result? A 0 to 60 miles per hour time of just 3.4 seconds. To put that in perspective, that's quicker than a Dodge Charger Scat Pack, and in the same ballpark as some Porsches. The Wagoneer S also comes with Jeep's Select Terrain system, offering drive modes like Auto, Sport, Eco, Snow, and Sand. That means it's not just fast, it's adaptable, letting you tailor traction and performance to the conditions. So whether you're pulling onto a highway, cruising through snow, or heading down a gravel road, the Wagoneer S responds instantly. It's a performance SUV wrapped in Jeep styling: range, battery, and charging. Of course, with EVs, power isn't the only stat that matters. Range and charging are huge. The Wagoneer S packs a 93.9 kilowatt-hour battery and delivers an EPA-estimated range of around 294 to 303 miles, depending on the trim. That's solid for a luxury EV SUV, enough for long commutes or weekend trips without constant stops. Charging is equally impressive. On a DC fast charger, you can go from 20% to 80% in about 23 minutes, just enough time for a coffee stop. At home, with a level 2 charger, it'll take roughly 7 hours to charge from 5% to 80%. Jeep even includes an onboard home charging unit with the vehicle. And yes, this SUV can tow. The Wagoneer S is rated to handle around 3,400 to 3,500 pounds, making it practical for small trailers or boats. So, between the strong range, quick charging, and towing capacity, it's clear Jeep designed this EV to fit real-world lifestyles. Technology and safety features. Tech lovers will feel right at home in the Wagoneer S. Front and center is a massive 45-inch digital display panel stretching across the dash. It's split into a 12.3-inch driver cluster, a 10.3-inch infotainment touchscreen, and an optional passenger display. The system runs on Jeep's latest Uconnect 5 with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, built-in Alexa, and over-the-air updates. For audiophiles, the Launch Edition comes standard with a 19-speaker Macintosh sound system, one of the richest, clearest audio setups in the segment. Lighting is another highlight. 64-color customizable ambient lighting wraps around the cabin, letting you set the mood for every drive. On safety, Jeep didn't cut corners. Standard features include adaptive cruise control with stop-and-go lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, 360-degree surround view camera, automatic emergency braking, active parking assist. Basically, All the modern driver aids you'd expect in a premium EV SUV are here, making the Wagoneer S as safe as it is tech-forward. Pricing, trims, and value. Now let's talk numbers. The 2025 Jeep Wagoneer S starts with the limited trim at about $67,000. That version comes with dual motors, AWD, around 500 horsepower, and all the essential luxury features. The launch edition is the star of the show, priced around $71,000 to $72,000. For the extra money, you get the full 600 horsepower, the illuminated grille, massaging front seats, 20-inch wheels, premium paint, and the Macintosh audio system. And here's a bonus. Many buyers will qualify for the $7,500 federal EV tax credit, which brings the real cost down. That makes the Wagoneer S competitive with other luxury EVs, like the Tesla Model X, Rivian R1S, and Cadillac Lyriq. Yes, it's pricey, but you're getting speed, luxury, tech, and Jeep's unique brand heritage rolled into one. Conclusion. So, what's the final verdict on the 2025 Jeep Wagoneer S? The pros: blistering acceleration, luxurious and tech-filled interior, a solid 300-mile range, and Jeep DNA baked into an EV package. It's comfortable for families, stylish enough for the city, and powerful enough to surprise sports cars at a stoplight. The cons: a firm ride, premium pricing, and regen braking that takes some adjustment. It also won't replace your Wrangler if you're a hardcore off-roader. But overall, Jeep's first EV is a statement piece. It shows that electrification doesn't mean losing character. It means evolving it. If you're a Jeep fan ready to go electric, or a luxury EV shopper looking for something fresh, the Wagoneer S deserves your attention. So, would I recommend it? Absolutely. If you want an EV that combines Jeep heritage with modern performance, this is one of the most exciting options out there. A family-sized SUV, fully electric, seating 7 people comfortably, and it promises over 600 kilometers of range on a single charge. Sounds wild, right? Well, Škoda's brand new 7S is exactly that. A massive electric beast that just might change what we expect from big family cars. Now here's the kicker. This isn't some distant concept that'll never see the light of day. This is Škoda's new flagship EV, built on the same tech as VW's latest electric lineup, and it's coming sooner than you think. And in this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know, from the futuristic design, that huge tech-packed interior, the battery and charging secrets, to whether it can really stand up against rivals like the Kia EV9. Trust me, by the end of this, you're going to look at 7-seater EVs in a whole new way. Let's get into it. Overview. Quick context before we dig in. The 7S started life as Škoda's Vision 7S concept, and it's set to become the brand's new flagship 7-seat EV. It's built on Volkswagen Group's modular MEB electrification toolkit and is sized and packaged for families who need real space, not just a novelty third row. The headline tech: an 89 kilowatt-hour pack, a WLTP claim of 600 plus kilometers, and fast charge capability that's nearly 200 kilowatts, all of which positions it as one of the longer-range family EVs on the market. Production for the global model is planned for 2026, with markets such as India expected to get it in 2027. Exterior. First impressions. The 7S looks purposeful. Up front, you get Škoda's new, very horizontal face with a closed tech deck area and slim, T-shaped LED signatures that give it a modern, slightly futuristic look. From the side, the roof stays fairly straight. The greenhouse is large, and the proportions read like a proper 3-row SUV. Big, but not bloated. It's almost 5 meters long in concept form, which translates to serious cabin space. The rear follows the same theme: broad shoulder, full-width taillight graphics, and a bold Škoda nameplate across the tailgate. It's a family SUV that wants to be noticed, but not shout. Interior design. Open the door and the 7S immediately sells its space. The production interior follows the concept's clean, wide dash approach. The driver faces a compact digital cluster, while a large portrait central screen dominates the center stack. The cabin layout is a true 2-3-2 setup. Second row is a full bench or optional captain seats, and the third row is genuinely usable for kids, and, in a pinch, for adults on shorter runs. Škoda's emphasis here is practical luxury. Lots of soft-touch surfaces, sustainable materials, and little details designed for families. Think multiple cup holders, big door pockets, and adjustable second-row seating to make row 3 access easy. There's even a rotating or large central screen concept on show in the study versions that hints at innovative UX technology. Tech is where the 7S wants to show off. Expect a large portrait infotainment screen that handles maps, media, and vehicle setup, plus a clear digital instrument cluster in front of the driver. The concept also previewed an augmented reality head-up display that projects navigation cues directly into your line of sight, handy on long highway stints. Škoda's usual suite of connectivity features, wireless phone mirroring, OTA updates, Wi-Fi hotspot, and voice commands should be present. Ambient lighting and clever status indicators, like lighting that shows charging state, add a friendly human touch to the cabin. Performance. Škoda will offer the 7S with single motor and dual motor options, so you can choose efficiency or extra performance. While exact horsepower numbers for production spec aren't fully revealed, expect the AWD variants to be significantly quicker than the base. The good bit about EVs: instant torque makes even heavy vehicles feel punchy from a standstill. And with the battery low in the floor, the center of gravity helps keep it planted through corners. Not a sports car, but confident for its size. Expect selectable drive modes: Eco for maximum range, Comfort for daily driving, and Sport when you want sharper responses. Charging. Charging is practical too. The concept supports nearly 200 kilowatts DC fast charging, which means healthy top-up speeds on highway chargers, typically enough to add a big chunk of range during a coffee break. Home charging will still be slower. Overnight on an 11 to 22 kilowatt wall box is the most realistic daily routine. And because the 7S sits on the MEB family architecture, expect compatibility with the broad public fast charging networks the VW Group supports. Ride comfort and driving feel. Škoda traditionally tunes for comfort, and I'd expect the 7S to follow that recipe. With the battery under the floor and likely adaptive damping, the ride should be composed over bumps and quiet at cruising speeds. EVs are naturally hushed without an engine. Steering will feel light in tight situations and firmer on the highway. Regenerative braking will let you modulate one-pedal driving if you like. Bottom line, it's built to be a calm, relaxed cruiser for families. Safety and driver assistance. Safety tech will be comprehensive. Expect adaptive cruise with lane keep, automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, rear cross-traffic alert, and a full 360-degree camera system for parking. Škoda's family focus means passive safety structures will be strong too. It's aiming for top safety ratings, as you'd expect from a flagship like this. Practicality and space. Practicality is where the 7S's shine. Sliding second-row seats, flexible folding third-row seats, and smart cubbies mean families can haul kids, luggage, and groceries without a headache. With all 3 rows up, you'll get minimal boot space. Same story as most 7-seaters. But fold the rows flat, and you'll have a serious load bay. Expect the usual Škoda small, clever tricks: hidden storage and user-friendly placements for chargers, phone trays, and cup holders. Pricing. Official pricing is still TBD, but Škoda is positioning this as its flagship EV. So expect a price premium over the compact EVs in the range. Production is slated from 2026 for global markets, with India and several other regions likely to receive the model in 2027. You'll probably see a base single-motor variant for value, and a higher-spec dual-motor AWD for families wanting performance and extra grip. Conclusion. Okay, the short verdict. Pros: excellent range, real 7-seat packaging, clear family-first design, and modern tech. Cons. Big physical footprint can be awkward in tight city parking. Top pricing will likely be high, and the third row is still best suited for kids or short adult trips. If you need a long-range, practical 7-seat EV, the Škoda 7S is shaping up to be one of the most sensible options. If you mostly drive solo in the city, a smaller EV will probably be cheaper and easier to live with. That's everything we know so far about the Škoda 7S. If you want me to deep dive pricing or compare trims and running costs when those numbers drop, hit the like button and tell me which comparison you want in the comments. 7S versus EV9, or 7S versus Ioniq 9. Subscribe for the full test drive when it arrives. I'll be first in line to find out how it really drives. Thanks for watching. Okay, if you've been following EVs, you probably already know the Cybertruck is one of the most talked about vehicles on the planet. And for 2026, it's still doing what it does best, making people stop and stare. But this time around, it's trying to be a little more grown up. Think the same wild, angular look, but with tweaks that actually make it more useful in daily life. From the outside, nothing about the Cybertruck screams timid. That stainless steel body still looks like it belongs in a sci-fi movie. But the new updates soften a few edges and add some practical touches, improved lighting, a few more refined joints, and details that make it look less like a concept and more like something you'd actually live with. It still stands out in any parking lot. But the message is now, I'm futuristic, and I can do work too. Inside, Tesla doubled down on its minimalism. It's Spartan, yes, but the 2026 updates make the cabin feel cleaner and more usable. Better storage, clearer displays, and a nicer feel to the materials. It's not Bentley-level luxury, but you don't buy a Cybertruck to feel like a banker. You buy it because you want space, tech, and that distinct Tesla vibe. Posters and forums have been buzzing about interior photos and the vibe they give off. Less toy, more tool. Now here's the bit that's got everyone talking. The powertrain rumors. Tesla outlined a plan for a bed-mounted range extender in past updates, basically an add-on to give extra miles. And that idea has morphed in the rumor mill into talk of hybrid-style options or range-extending solutions. The official story has been a little messy. Tesla at one point mentioned a range extender that would add substantial range. But the timeline and specifics have shuffled around, and the feature's status has been unclear publicly. So, treat the hybrid talk as possible and interesting, not confirmed tech that you can order today. What's exciting is how those ideas change what the Cybertruck could be. Imagine the utility of a long-range setup for long trips, or a system that eases range anxiety for people who want to use it as a real daily truck. If Tesla nails a reliable range extender or improves battery tech, it shifts the Cybertruck from a bold city statement to a genuine long-haul tool. Off-road, the Cybertruck still wants to flex. Ground clearance, robust suspension software, and a pretty clever torque delivery mean it's built to go places most SUVs avoid. The 2026 tweaks focus more on making the truck actually work off the beaten path. Better approach and departure angles, improved underbody protection, and more refined traction control. Take it onto dirt, and it behaves like a serious utility vehicle, rather than a delicate showpiece. Driving it on tarmac is a slightly different story. The Cybertruck always had this paradox. It's huge and heavy, yet it can pull surprisingly quick numbers, thanks to electric torque. In everyday driving, the 2026 updates try to smooth out the ride and dialing in the steering feel, so it doesn't feel like you're wrestling a spaceship. It's still unique to drive, that's the appeal, but the improvements make it more approachable for longer trips and for folks who want to actually use the bed, tow stuff, or haul gear. Let's talk tech. If you like the idea of an accessible, software-forward truck, Tesla's still the leader. The Cybertruck ships with the usual Tesla suite, navigation, over-the-air updates, autopilot features, and the company keeps adding software tweaks that change the experience long after you buy it. That's a double-edged sword. New features can pop up and make your truck better, but it also means some promised hardware features, like range extenders, can lag or change. Still, from the touchscreens to the user experience, the Cybertruck feels like a modern connected pickup. Price is where reality sits down beside your dreams. Early expectations for the Cybertruck were famously ambitious, but the market has been messy. Tesla's initial promises of a bargain-based model haven't really panned out, and current pricing for the Cybertruck sits well above what many originally hoped. For 2026, industry listings and price guides put typical starting prices in the neighborhood of the low to mid $80K range for mainstream trims, depending on options and battery choices. That's a meaningful chunk of change. But if you're comparing it to high-end rivals and loaded pickup builds, it's not wild. Just know that those cool options and longer-range solutions will push the sticker even higher. Okay, how does this version stack up to the early Cybertruck hype and past models? The OG promise was affordable, game-changing pickup, and reality has been more complicated. Stellar design, bold ambitions, and some manufacturing and pricing wrinkles. The 2026 updates feel like Tesla admitting, okay, let's make this more usable for people who actually use trucks. It's less about insane, unreachable promises, and more about delivering on utility, tech, and a distinct identity you won't forget. Meanwhile, real-world data shows the truck's sales and market reception have had ups and downs. It's been polarizing, and that continues to shape how Tesla positions updates and pricing. So, who should consider the Cybertruck in 2026? If you want something that stands out, that's packed with tech, and you're okay trading a little traditional comfort for a weirdly brilliant design, it's a great pick. If you need predictable, tried-and-true truck ownership with broad dealer support and established servicing networks, some other trucks might be more sensible right now. But for early adopters, tech lovers, and people who want a truck that's a conversation starter and a weekend warrior, the Cybertruck still checks a lot of boxes. Here's the bottom line: the 2026 Cybertruck is less of a promise and more of a maturing product. Tesla is leaning into usability, better interiors, more realistic pricing expectations for what you actually get, and potential range-extending solutions that could make it far more practical. It's still one of the most interesting trucks on sale because nobody else mixes styling, software, and brute electric power like this. If you loved the look and the idea of owning something that's part futuristic sculpture and part workhorse, this version gets closer to reality. If you're buying purely on practicality and lowest cost, wait and compare. Either way, the Cybertruck is far from boring, and it's keeping the EV conversation exciting.
You're sitting in a car that looks like $1 million, feels like a baby S-Class, and can literally recognize you with a fingerprint scanner. Yep, that's the new 2026 Mercedes E-Class. And here's the wild part. Reviewers are already calling it a wonderfully complete, highly desirable luxury car. That's a big claim when you're competing against BMW and Audi, right? But here's the thing. Mercedes didn't just slap on a new badge and call it a day. This thing is loaded with fresh tech, sleek design tweaks, and performance upgrades that might just make you forget about the competition. So in this video, we're breaking down everything you need to know, from the illuminated grille
to the silky inline-six, to the kind of cabin that makes you want to live inside your car. Buckle up, because this is the Auto Xpert, and we're diving into the 2026 E-Class exterior design. Walk up to the 2026 E-Class and it hits you immediately. Mercedes dialed back the fuss and amplified the class. The nose is clean and wide. The grille sits proud without looking try-hard. And those headlights are slim and smart. They don't shout. They whisper quality. Add the AMG body kit, and the whole car leans into a slightly more aggressive, planted stance. From the side, it's a study in subtle curves. Long hood, short overhangs, wheels that fill the arches just right. At the rear, the taillights sweep across the trunk lid like a ribbon. Elegant, not flashy. Interior and comfort. Open the door and the cabin calms you down. It's soft, quiet, and very well put together. The dash is layered, stitched surfaces, tidy seams, and metal touches that feel real in your hand. The seats are plush and supportive. Mercedes didn't try to reinvent luxury. They refined it. The tech is front and center, but integrated, so it never feels like a tablet glued to plastic. Rear passengers get good legroom. Adults fit comfortably. One practical call-out, though. The trunk is on the compact side for the class, so if you need a huge boot, plan ahead. Powertrain and performance. Under the hood, you've got sensible, real-world engine choices. The base E350 uses a Turbo 4 with electric assist. Enough pep for daily driving and highway passing without the drama. Step up to the E450, and you get a silky 3.0-liter inline-six with mild hybrid tech. That one is noticeably smoother and quicker. If you're chasing proper performance, there's also AMG hardware higher in the range. But for most people, the 350 or 450 gives a great balance of power and refinement. Driving dynamics and ride quality. Driving the E-Class is where Mercedes' DNA shows. Composed, quiet, and surprisingly confident. On the highway, it glides. Bumps smear away and wind noise stays in the background. But turn it into a canyon road and you'll find it's not sloppy. The steering has good weight and the car stays composed through corners. If you option the air suspension and adaptive dampers, it'll float over potholes and still settle down when you push it. For city maneuvering, rear axle steering, available in packages, makes tight turns and parking feel smaller than the car actually is. Safety and driver assistance. Mercedes packs the E-Class with modern safety gear. The basics come standard: automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, and driver attention systems. Want more autonomy? You can option adaptive cruise with lane centering and other advanced assist features. But like any semi-autonomous system, they're there to help, not drive the car for you. Mercedes also uses driver monitoring tech that watches your attention and prompts you if you start to drift off. Variants, trims, and pricing. Here's the quick money talk. Base E350 starts in the low $60,000 range, and stepping up to the E450 or adding AWD and options gets you into the mid to high $70,000 fast. If you want full AMG flavor, it jumps higher. Mercedes offers base and Pinnacle trims. The Pinnacle is the sweet spot for features like upgraded audio, noise-insulating glass, and some of the nicer interior touches. Competition and positioning. In this price and size bracket, the E-Class goes head-to-head with the BMW 5 Series and Audi A6. BMW often leans sportier. Audi is a tech comfort middle ground. The E-Class lands on comfort and cabin quality, with technology that gives it an edge if you love in-car gadgets more than raw cornering numbers. Conclusion. All right, so here's the bottom line. The 2026 Mercedes E-Class isn't just a facelift. This feels like Mercedes sat down, looked at the S-Class, and thought, how can we make that magic more accessible? And they kind of nailed it. You've got the looks, that illuminated grille and coupe-like bodyline make it stand out. You've got the tech, fingerprint recognition, massive screens, AI-driven safety features. And you've got the performance. Smooth inline-six, optional hybrid, and that signature Mercedes comfort. Now, if you're someone who values raw sportiness above everything else, you might still lean toward a BMW 5 Series. But if you want a balance of luxury, intelligence, and everyday usability, this E-Class feels like the sweet spot in 2026. So yeah, Mercedes didn't just build another car, they built an experience. And honestly, if I had the keys, I wouldn't want to give them back. If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and stick with the Auto Expert, because we've got more reviews, more test drives, and more deep dives into cars that actually matter. Until next time, drive safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.